Hey everybody, Brian Zane here, and I'm joined by the host of the Raw and SmackDown reviews on the channel, Mr. J Biggs.
What's up?
Yeah, hey, you're not gonna be talking in your radio voice.
No.
This is.
I told you I'm a chameleon.
Yeah, yeah. So when he's not on radio mode, not on review mode, he talks very differently. I know that surprised a lot of people. And we are here to review, or do our predictions, I should say, for Wrestlemania Backlash this Sunday. And you know when it really hit me, that was the official name, was when you called me a few weeks ago, and it's like, hey, so do you want to get together to watch Wrestlemania Backlash? I'm like, I love that you call it by its full name. Like, you just dove right into it. Like, because I still call it Backlash for sure.
It is Backlash. So,
yeah.
But, you know, whatever. They want to brand it. The hell with it. Let them do what they want to do.
Soon it's going to be Wrestlemania, Money in the Bank, Wrestlemania, Armageddon, and everything. Well, let's begin and talk about these matches, beginning with our Lumberjack match with Wrestlemania Damian Priest and Wrestlemania The Miz. You thought it was just going to end at Wrestlemania with Bad Bunny stealing the show and Damian Priest going on his merry way, but
I'm still trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Like, they continue to berate Bad Bunny, so what I said in the review was like, are they going to bring Bad Bunny in for a run-in or a hop-in? Or, or what? I'm not, I don't know. Yeah. But if they don't, then just stop harping on them, dude. Let it go and let Damian Priest be the star of this feud.
Right. It's definitely been like the ghost of Bad Bunny is there. It's like, hey, remember Bad Bunny at WrestleMania? You're not going to see him at WrestleMania Backlash. After this, hopefully, Damian can kind of like shed that, Bad Bunny's friend thing.
Yes.
And then, like, after beating Miz, which I believe he's going to do, then he can kind of be his own man.
Right, absolutely. And then that's what I hope happens here, because Damian Priest is a hell of a talented wrestler.
He's great. I think of, like, a lot of the recent NXT guys at the transition from NXT to main roster, his has low-key been one of the best.
Yeah, you're right, actually. They've handled it okay.
Right, he came in at the Rumble, and he had that the association with Bad Bunny, and at first you're kind of like, but then, like, the more it grew into it, it became one of the better things about Raw, honestly, and we saw how WrestleMania turned out with them. Right. What happens 6 months from now, time will tell, but I think that this is being a good launching point for him to kind of, like, again, be his own man and continue the momentum he's built. Going from Raw to SmackDown for a second, the SmackDown tag titles on the line as WrestleMania Rudolph, you can't make me call them dirty dogs, defend against WrestleMania Rey and Dominic Mysterio. You've been studying SmackDown a lot closer than I have lately. What do you think has been going on with that feud so far?
Well, they haven't done much to really build it other than the last couple weeks. They had a couple face-offs or whatever, because, I mean, they weren't even on the WrestleMania card.
And then there were all those, like, 8-mans. They did a couple of 8-mans with the same makeup of, like, Street Profits and Mysterio's versus...
they had the throwback SmackDown. I mean, they had to do the schmaz with a bunch of dudes because they couldn't get them all on the show for whatever reason. I think, honestly, the Mysterios are going to win the tag team belts at this pay-per-view. I mean, I thought, honestly, they were going to try to do it at WrestleMania, but now we're doing it at WrestleMania Backlash.
Well, WrestleMania SmackDown was when they would have done it. That was when the belts were on the line.
Oh, that's right.
They're just going to smack that name on anything. So I think that... But I agree with you, though, like... Rude and Ziggler, like, they're great individually, never really clicked for me as a team, never got that, and it's not, I don't think it's a team that's setting the world on fire.
Yeah. They don't suck, though.
No,
I think they're a good tag
They're not
team,
bad.
But they're just better separate.
They're not great either as a team.
Right.
It just doesn't jive with me, and so I think that, the feel-good story of Rey and Dominic winning the tag titles, I think that's going to be great. So I'm in agreement with you and think the male Stereos will win the belts as my dog walks past the camera and makes it, thanks!
We're having an earthquake here.
Yeah. Moving on to the Universal Championship as WrestleMania Roman Reigns defends against WrestleMania Cesaro, who had a great showing at WrestleMania against WrestleMania Seth Rollins. This joke is going to get old super quick.
I guess everything. WrestleMania, everything. Everything's Naktar.
Oh, no, it was Marklar.
Marklar.
Yeah.
There it is.
Marklar.
We're Marklars.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with being a Marklar. We all started out as Marklars.
Yes.
Cesaro getting a real, genuine one-on-one world title matchup against the hottest act in SmackDown right now. That right there, I mean, that on paper sounds amazing.
It does, and he's not going to win.
No, he's not going to win.
Okay, Seth Rollins is going to get involved. The Usos are going to get involved. But here's what I actually think. I kind of have a weird feeling they're about to turn Rollins' face.
Why?
Here's why. I think that him and Roman could be a hell of a feud later on.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're two top guys on SmackDown. I could totally see
they have history.
They do, absolutely. They got history, and so it does make sense. I don't know. That's just my thought. Is that maybe Seth is going to turn face eventually, because it seems like right now, like, the odds are just so stacked against Cesaro I mean, with the Rollins and both Usos, and now we also have Jimmy Uso back, and it's like, what's going to happen there?
Yeah, and I can see a thing where like where they're kind of running out of like top tier baby faces for Roman to go against. Like they just wrote off Daniel Bryan,
right?
And his contract's apparently expired, and who knows when Edge is coming back, and so like Cesaro's probably not going to win this one. So yeah, like, who's really left right now as far as top single credible wrestler on SmackDown? Who's a babyface? Who could challenge Roman Reigns?
Otis never got his Money in the Bank match.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. The list is short, unfortunately. So I mean, there's a part of me that sees that, but I mean, I don't know. Those suits, man. Those are not babyface suits. We were kind of in agreement that Roman's going to retain, but I like where you're going with this, where there's going to be a lot of tomfoolery going around with the Usos and possibly with Seth. I didn't think about him coming into the match, but you do raise a good point.
I mean, yeah, he's going to have. What else are they doing with him? I don't know. It doesn't seem like they've written him off because he's been facing Cesaro the last couple weeks and stuff, and interfering and whatnot. So, I don't know. I'm just under the impression that we're going to see some sort of involvement from Rollins, whether it be actually to help Cesaro or Reigns, because, they did tease that with the Usos, like on the outside helping out Rollins and him being like, no, I'm not Roman. I don't need you. Mm-hmm. So that's where I think that dissension might come in.
Yeah.
He might be more of a tweener than a face.
Yeah, I can see them kind of rocking that for a while, and maybe with stuff with Seth and Cesaro isn't done yet. So, I don't know. The more you say it, the more it makes sense to me, is all I'm saying. So maybe we will see babyface Seth coming up in the future. Maybe by SummerSlam, maybe.
Yeah.
Him and Roman. That'd be cool.
There we go.
Oh, I'm sorry. WrestleMania SummerSlam.
Oh.
WrestleMania, Bianca Belair defends the SmackDown Women's title against WrestleMania Bayley. This is something I actually predicted last month. I said the next big opponent for Bianca Belair was going to be Bayley because she was kind of not involved in an in-ring capacity at WrestleMania.
Right.
And this is going to be, that was kind of cooling off. She comes back here and like it reignites the feud that they had on SmackDown leading up between Rumble and Mania.
Yes, true. But I am also kind of old school in my opinions of wrestling, is that I just remember that whenever you drop the belt, you get an automatic rematch. So where the hell Sasha Banks been?
Well, first off, the automatic rematch, not really. They say it's not been a thing since 2018. They find a way to get it, but like they do some creative magic with it. I think Bianca and Bayley's going to be great because their history and their matches they've had up to this point have been very good. But I'm of the same opinion with the Raw Women's title match. You don't take it off Bianca so soon. And I think Bayley's going to give Bianca a great match. But I think she's going to be elevating Bianca, and I think that Belair is going to retain.
Yeah, I do think Belair is absolutely going to retain. One thing I do want to say about this feud is that I feel like with Bianca, there's some things that we haven't really seen a lot of yet, at least on the main roster, and one of those is the fact that people are using her hair against her and stuff like that, and then also her story, the way that Bayley's portraying her and her like life story and how they've been portraying Bianca lately. I think that those are a couple different things they could have maybe stretched out over a while. What I mean is it's almost like Bayley's she's getting all the heat in one feud that you can get on Bianca over a stretch of time.
Yeah, and that's it's going to end in one of two ways, where it's like they keep the feud going, but at that point you've spent all your heat tokens, or Bayley's kind of a one and done, and then Bianca's going to move on to somebody else afterward.
At least that's what I'm hoping. I mean, maybe it's Eva Marie.
Maybe. Well, yeah, because they haven't decided what brand she's going to be on yet, have they? Because they've been showing the vignettes on Raw, but have they been doing it on SmackDown too?
They haven't, no, not that I've seen.
And because the reason I say that is because like when they were running Bianca Belair vignettes, they were on Raw and not SmackDown. I'm like, oh well, then she's clearly going to go on Raw, and then she went on SmackDown. Right. So it's like,
well, they're running those Aleister Black vignettes on SmackDown.
Yeah,
so.
Which means he's going to show up on Raw. I don't know.
But if he even shows up, like I said, he may or may not.
For the Raw Women's Championship, you've got WrestleMania Rhea Ripley versus WrestleMania Charlotte Flair versus WrestleMania Asuka.
There was no WrestleMania Charlotte Flair though.
No, that's true. You can, but
it's just Charlotte Flair.
Apparently, you can have WrestleMania without Charlotte Flair. We found that out this year.
Without a backlash, you can't.
Yeah, I see what you did there. It's frustrating to watch because I've seen what Asuka and Rhea have done in one-on-one lately, and for as good as they are individually, they have no chemistry. How is that possible? And now you add Charlotte Flair to the mix, your chances drastically go down. I believe in my heart of hearts that Rhea will retain. I think it's too soon for her to drop it at this point.
Yes.
Charlotte winning the belt, what does that prove? I mean, she can be the opportunity and she can be the be-all end-all without the belt. I think Charlotte's in that spot now. She doesn't really need to hold the belt for a long time.
Yeah.
Because she's already won it enough, and she's in that rarefied air as a talent. And I think that, I don't think she's going to be the one taking the pin in this matchup, I think it's going to be Asuka. I just don't think she's the one with the belt. I think Rhea's going to retain.
I don't think that Rhea's going to lose it either. It's absolutely way too early for them to take the belt off of her and kill that momentum. I mean, you killed her momentum last year at WrestleMania. Why do it so quick after this one? So,
yeah,
you know, I don't know. I would say that Charlotte Flair, adding her to the match is definitely not the equivalent of adding Daniel Bryan to the World, Universal Championship match for sure, because it's just not as wanted or needed. But I do feel that that's the next feud, obviously, is that Asuka's going to taper off probably and go do something else, and it's going to be Rhea and Charlotte.
This is the transition period to get Charlotte feuding with Rhea.
Right.
Yeah, and like honestly, if we're thinking that far ahead to Rhea and Charlotte 1-on-1 for the title, I mean, I think you try and correct the mistake of what you did last year, have Rhea go over on Charlotte. Because, like, Charlotte's the definite heel. Rhea has been booked very confusingly. They can't seem to make up their mind if she's a babyface or a heel, it seems. But I think that if she does beat Charlotte, that could definitely launch her as a top babyface champion, and then Charlotte can be kind of like, she can be the heel that she's so much better at than being a babyface.
Right.
And go from there. But again, that's purely speculative, but I think you and I are in agreement that Rhea is going to retain.
Absolutely.
I promise the last time I'm doing this joke, WrestleMania Bobby Lashley defends the WWE Championship against WrestleMania Drew McIntyre and WrestleMania Braun Strowman. He's been added into this thing. It's a triple threat match, and really, it's like, at this point, it could kind of go a couple of different ways. I think the easy money is Bobby Lashley retaining, but you never know, like, Strowman's in there as a spoiler, where, Drew could win it back, or even Strowman could win it. Less likely, but I think it's there.
And now the dissension that MVP is once again caused, like, so for instance on this last Raw review, I was mentioning that Strowman came in and actually helped out Bobby Lashley at the end of the match, against McIntyre. So there's that element, so McIntyre's got the biggest stars he's going to have to realize. I mean, he's either going to come out of this thing looking strong as shit, or it's going to move on to being Bobby Lashley and Strowman being the feud. Because like I've said in my review, I want to see that hurt lock on Strowman, and since Strowman's a strong guy, that's his gimmick, just break out of it. It's the Master Lock Challenge, dude. I haven't been excited for a full Nelson since the Master Lock Challenge.
Which Bobby Lashley ended up breaking. That was his thing. So it's like a Mega Man. He beat Chris Masters, so he absorbed his power, he absorbed his finisher.
I like that.
So
is that why we haven't seen the Masterpiece return yet, but Carlito has?
So who do you think is going to win this thing in the end?
I want Bobby Lashley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
think that the run is great right now. It's just, you screwed up the Hurt Business. Don't screw this up, please.
Yeah. What I have seen of Lashley as champion, and I'm watching the YouTube highlights and stuff. I'm not watching the full episodes anymore, but what I have seen, I am still very impressed by, and I like Lashley as champion, and I agree with you. I don't know why they got rid of the Hurt Business as soon as they did. You could have a lot to play with a stable protecting Bobby Lashley, but maybe he doesn't need the protecting. Maybe the whole idea is you want him to stand on his own merits and not have the henchmen do stuff. But it's then why'd you have the group to begin with?
Dude, MVP, I gotta tell you, man, I mean, he's like that next Paul Heyman almost. He is such a great talker. And
he's found his second calling.
Oh, gosh, yes.
He has found life after wrestling and being an amazing mouthpiece and just someone to kind of be the glue that it was holding the Hurt Business together until they broke everything up. So it's but MVP, whether it's with Lashley or whoever, I think MVP's got a great future as being a manager, a mouthpiece, a hype man, whatever. And so, I think, we can't say enough good things about MVP in that role. And I think, we're both in agreement, kind of like how we've been agreeing with literally every match on this card so far, that Bobby Lashley is going to retain. Yay for pay-per-view weekend. But those are just our humble predictions, folks. Let us know what you think is going to happen at WrestleMania Backlash this Sunday in the comment section below. And just a quick reminder, this video is being filmed Friday morning before SmackDown, so things could change between now and then. Matches could be added.
I'll keep you updated for sure.
Stay tuned on Saturday for the SmackDown review hosted by Zane J Biggs. And folks, that's what we got for this. We'll be back together for our review of WrestleMania Backlash. And until then, folks, for J Biggs, I'm Brian Zane, and we'll see you next time.